Today on Drawbli.
Ben is sketching some cute cartoons.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Abby.
And we're self-taught artists documenting our drawing adventures because art is better when shared with friends.
So click that subscribe button if you're new around here.
And don't forget to check out our guidebook on daily drawing, linked below. Abby, I'm sketching some cute cartoons.
Yeah, draw what you want to be able to draw.
Yeah, well, I've been doing a lot of sketching and lines lately and just kind of working on that. And not too long ago, I had tried some more like stylized cartoony stuff and really failed on it. So I figured since somewhat recently I felt like I had leveled up my lines, I would like to kind of delve back into that and try it again.
It's harder than it looks.
It is. Simple does not mean easy is
Not
something
even
that
a
I
little
say
bit.
with sculpting quite often, especially when it comes to stylized stuff. It often looks simple, and simple gets conflated with easy, and that is definitely not the case,
Yeah.
in my opinion at least.
To get proportions to still look like pleasant and fun, but be like just non-realistic to human proportions is, I have found out, really, really hard.
Yes, I was also struggling with my Apple Pencil when working on all of these.
Oh no.
Because unfortunately my pen nib was really worn down, and I think my Apple Pencil, it's not on its last leg, but it's getting there. It's still fine. Like it's gonna last me, I think, quite a bit longer.
Yeah.
But every once in a while it kind of like wigs out on me.
Yeah. I know your Apple Pencil has it has struggled some over the years.
It's a trooper though.
But it's hanging in there.
it
Much
is
better
hanging
than
in.
my first Apple Pencil did.
You got really unlucky.
That one time I dropped it and it just fell right on the tip and it was like, I'm done now. I'm no longer an Apple Pencil.
You do. If you drop it at a particular angle, it does just break.
Yes.
So you may notice all of these references that I'm using are AI, I will say that. But it's such an interesting style, and I really liked the face shapes and proportions that I thought, AI's learning from all of us. Why don't I try to learn something from these? So,
Yeah.
steal back a little energy here.
Absolutely. Borrow the energy back. It's all traded back and forth in the universe. All energy is already created.
Wow,
and
that's so deep.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
not,
yeah.
we don't normally get that deep on Drawbli.
Well,
Quick, say something else.
That's all I got.
That's all the deep energy we had. So if you saw my initial sketch there, it was like turning really derpy. So I was like, let me fade that out and try again over top using that as a guide. I have found that can either be hit or miss in terms of helpful in the
Yeah.
past. But you will notice something that I'm doing in all these is line weight. I feel like I've really
Ooh.
leveled up my line weight lately in terms of like picking and choosing and being more intentional about where I'm putting heavy
Yeah.
and light lines.
For me, when I go to draw something like this, what I struggle with is honestly the basic forms, the very basic forms, because the placement of features and eyebrows and cheekbones looks like almost haphazard. But if you're even slightly off,
It feels completely wrong.
feels
It feels weird.
Yeah. And so that's something I really struggle with if I attempt anything like remotely anime-esque style. Is theirs looks so cool and mine just looks like not good at all.
Yeah, for sure. It's, something that you need to practice. I mentioned in one of my last videos about drawing hands that I was like, man, I've really leveled up my face drawing skills lately, but my hands are terrible. And I'm like, oh, I just need to draw more hands. So after drawing all of these, I went on to try drawing from imagination after I had practiced this style a lot. Which is something I want to do more of. So I think I do 3 of these from imagination, and I was like a lot more successful than I thought I would be. But this was all in like one session, sitting down. I drew all of these all at once. So I think that's like how I want to try practicing more. And I've seen this a lot with like iterative practice, where it's like practice with reference, and then practice on your own without reference, and then compare.
Yeah.
So that is exactly what I did here.
Oh, okay. So you went back and compared these to your previous pieces?
I didn't compare, but I looked at them in terms of like, oh, do I like these more or less? Like what did I do that was like maybe different, or what did I do that was like maybe better or worse? Like, obviously when I'm not using reference, I think I'm gonna put more of my own like preferences in there in terms of like style and ideas. So I definitely like strayed from the style, but I still really liked these and had a lot of fun
absolutely.
working on them and practicing them.
Very impressed by your forms, initial forms. Like everything feels like it's just right already. Like your nose to your eyes to your mouth, everything feels like it's the correct distance from each other, the correct size compared to each other. The eyebrows feel like right where they're supposed to be. That looks like normal. I always end up somehow like bulging one eye and eyebrow into the stratosphere. So at least
all practice, baby.
Yeah.
It's just practice.
Oh, look at the cute little mouth. Oh, that's so cute. This is really nice.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do this. And the head itself, like, I just got to say, like, even that, like, I tend to get some pretty wonky shapes in there when I try to draw, like, a head like this. And yours just feel like, no, this is what it's supposed to be shaped like. And I see you're doing some adjustments, and you get it there, and it's perfect.
A lot of it just comes down to confidence, I will say, where, like, the more you do it, the more you're just like, oh, no, that is where that goes because I've done it, like, 10 other times, and I know, like, where to put it. I've messed this up 30 times. So this time I know exactly where to, like, you know, it's just repetition and practice.
That's how I feel about drawing with like pen on paper. It's all that repetition that makes you any worthwhile goodness from it.
So those past 3, no reference at all. And
that's
I was
amazing.
like,
that is so amazing.
I've done it. I've leveled up. And probably if I tried it again right now without any reference, I would fail. So something that you definitely need to, you know, return to and keep trying. So after that, I was like, now I'm going to go back and like practice with reference more, see if I've learned anything from doing it without reference. Like, did that help me? Did that hurt me? Just more repetition.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this drawing session. I was like not listening to anything, very much in the flow of things.
Were you at a cafe?
I was, yeah.
Were you just listening to the sounds of the cafe?
Just listening to the sounds of the cafe.
What's the hot gossip among the baristas?
One of them was like 9+ months pregnant.
Wow.
And let's see, what's the other goss? One of the people working got upset at something. Yeah. That's about all I got. I was not exactly focused on the conversation.
No, of course, you're focused on your art, but I do think that's, you know, always fun to listen in. That's part of why you go to a cafe.
For the hot goss.
Yeah, the hot goss.
Gotta get the hot goss.
My sister is like a shift lead manager at Starbucks, and I love hearing her talk about like being in that role, because she works with a lot of like younger people who kind of need like a slightly older hand to guide them, and she's in her like mid to low 20s, so she is that slightly older, wiser guiding hand at even that age. She's very nice and very good at that. But I love hearing her talk about like their dilemmas, because not to make light of them, but things just feel a lot bigger when you're younger, that when you get older don't feel like as much of a big deal, even though their emotions surrounding them are very real.
Give me some goss. Give me some hot goss. I'm ready.
I don't have anything specific. It's just the vibe and emotions that come from it. Yeah.
This is true because I really enjoy, and we haven't done this in a while, drawing at our local university, just for the atmosphere of being around other people that are like in a learning field. Like, you know, everybody's there to learn. No, not everybody, but I like that atmosphere. And often when we have gone there in the past, very much we will hear some of the dumbest conversations ever.
Oh my gosh. It's so hard to like, take anybody seriously. This is so
cringy to listen to.
Like, I know, like, you know, it's big and important to them in that moment, and their feelings are so real and so valid, but also it's just like, oh my goodness. Like, I went through it too, though. I did. Things were bigger and more important to me than they are now, at least in some areas.
Now nothing's important to us. Now we're hardened by the world, and we're old, and we're
a little calmer.
We're cold.
Oh my gosh. I remember all the times I used to lay in bed at night and just worry about things. Oh, I was worried.
Yeah, now you never worry about anything ever.
Now I just put an AirPod in and I don't know it. I just play a book and I don't let my brain do anything.
I really liked the style of this reference that I'm using here. Again,
it's total
AI,
style
but it was
shift.
really cool. And I liked it so much. I was like, oh, I will finish out my drawing session with something a little different.
Yeah.
And continue to play around with lines and experiment, be more sketchy, especially all that, after all that like cartoony stuff, I still had that kind of in my my brain's RAM, so to speak. So I was like, now how's that going to affect something like this? Let's find out.
What I like too about this is I have so rarely used other art as my reference. Like I'm so stuck usually on like photos for reference, and I forget how important it is to also, practice learning directly from the kind of art you want to be able to create.
Yeah,
so
I think that's
this is a good
super
reminder for
important
me.
in my opinion to, practice and learn from other artists that you admire, or any, random reference or image that you find that you are interested in. You should always be drawing exactly what you want to be drawing.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And if you want to draw exactly what you want to draw, click that like and subscribe button and check out our guidebook, How to Easily Draw Every Day, at the link below.
Share your work on Instagram with #Drawbli, because drawing is better with friends.
And this is the part where we say
Goodbye.
Goomba.
So are you going to start your whole like anime series where it's just all these cute anime heads and their leader is that last figure that's like totally different?
Yeah, like
it's kind of like
the Demon Queen.
Yeah, like The Hobbit, where all the dwarves are going with Gandalf, but instead it's all your anime girls are going with the Demon Queen.
Right, yeah, that was a very apt
You know where my heart is.
yeah.